Hello and welcome to Gardevoir Sylveon. Hey Gardevoir, why should I care about you? Infinite Force. This attack does 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. Hey, we can be one-shotting quite easily here. Both is pretty key. I do forget about that at one point. So how do we get all these energies in play? Gardevoir can help us here as well. Secret Spring. Once during a turn, before you attack, you may attach a fairy energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Not only are you hitting hard, you're energy accelerating as well. Very nice indeed. But you're stage 2. How do I get you set up? Sylveon. Magical Ribbon. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Now they can be any 3 cards that you need at the time. So we could go and fetch ourselves some candy, we could maybe go and fetch us the Gardevoir. Hey, we might even start getting ourselves some energy so we can start accelerating on our next turn as well. Very nice indeed, and that is how the combo works. But I've got these other fairy Pokemon here. What are they about? Well, let's start with Ribombee. He has the ability Mysterious Buzz. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to your fairy Pokemon in play. So what are we really stopping here? The Guzmas. We're making these things dead weight because they have to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with that active before they can switch one of their own. We are making these guys dead weight as long as we've got a Ribombee sitting on our bench. Very nice indeed. So what's this Carbink about? Well, there's a lot of Pokemon running around out there that are attacking that have abilities. So Wonder Ray. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon by any Pokemon that has an ability. So, as long as you've got the Carbink up, as well as the Ribombee sitting on your bench, they're probably gonna have to take down the Carbink somehow, using a Pokemon that doesn't have an ability. So this can be really good to stall our opponent, to force them to have to take this Carbink down first before they start attacking elsewhere. And that can be really good as well. So that's what they're there for. That's the combo that's happening just in there as well. The rest of the deck is fairly straightforward. We've got our draw supporters and our Cynthia, Lillies and Tate Lizas. We've got our Apricorn Maker that can help get our bull cards into play and help us get set up that way as well. We've got some recycling in our Rescue Stretcher and our Pal Pad, and our stadium of choice today is our Sky Pillar to prevent all effects of the opponent attacks, including damage done to our bench Pokemon. So that's really good as well. That's how this deck is rolling. Shall we begin? I think we shall. Hello Koopy and welcome to this matchup, as we have a Cutiefly and a Ralts to put down on the first turn. I'm really looking for the Eevee on turn 1, that would be the ideal, and a Fairy NG, that's really what I'm wanting because that just helps the setup of this deck a lot better. But at the end of the day, I will take what I've got here because I can slowly get myself to the Gardevoir if needed as well. So we're going to right now chuck a Fairy NG onto the Ralts. That's how we're going to play this. We could Sky Pillar straight away, but I don't think that's going to get me too much value right now. And I just want to see whether he's going to play a Stadium on turn 1. So the drum part is up front here, so he can discard special energies from my active Pokemon. So just got to be very careful of that when I've got my DCEs running around. So he is playing a Lugia as well. So it does 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to the opponent's active Pokemon. So that's very good for hitting hard as well. So this is probably a really good counter deck for my Gardy, because my Gardy is pretty energy hungry to be able to hit in hard. So right now I go with the Kirlia up. I think we timeable as well, just to see whether I can evolve this and just make that tiny little bit harder for it to be taken down. So we're going to take the Ribombee, and don't really want to take a third card, I feel, because if I hit into a Lillie, I don't really want that. So right now we're going to take the Ribombee just to make it that little bit harder for it to be taken down on this particular turn, and I feel that's how we're going to end here just for the moment. So I can't attack. that is how we finish. I don't want my Kirlia up front on this particular turn. And I will have a Gardevoir up front on the next turn. So he is able to attack with the Drumper on this particular turn. He's got 3 Engies on there. So he's able to use the Berserk, take down the Ribombee, and really put a lot of pressure on me for this particular turn. So I do get into a draw supporter. That's probably just in the nick of time. So we're going to put the Engies onto the Kirlia here. We're going to evolve it into the Gardevoir, so we're all set up in that regards. We're going to get the Sky Pillar and the Cynthia here, and we're going to hope that I can get into something. I need to put the Carbink down just so I've got something here to back up. I can use a Secret Spring right now. Do I need to put it onto... I don't want to put too many energies onto this card because otherwise the Psychic powers up really nicely. And I need to be able to one-shot that. So right here, I think we Secret Spring to the Carbink. Not that the Carbink's going to be much good on this particular play. Maybe I hold out here on the Secret Spring. And instead I just go with the Infinite Force. And take down the Drumper without putting another NG card on it. And seeing what I get out of my prizes. So I do get a Sylveon and a Fairy NG. So I do have ways to refresh the hand. He's playing a Blacephalon behind all this. Wow, that really surprises me. Has he got Fire Engies? He has to be running Fire Engies if he's playing that Blacephalon. So the Lugia is going to hit in hard here. The Lost Purge GX. That is very well played for him. And unfortunately, I don't have much of a counter to it right now. I think I've just got to go with the Choice Band down. I've got a Cynthia here. I don't really want to be putting NGs onto the Carbink. I need to find a way to get myself set up on this particular turn. So we go with the Eevee. We chuck a Fairy NG onto the Eevee here and go and get the Sylveon. Unfortunately, I can't get the Sylveon into the active on this particular turn. So that is unfortunate, but I do Nest Ball here and go and get me a Ralts. So I do have another way to get a Gardevoir up, so that's really good for me. And right here, I'm just holding out. So that's done for me. I need to be able to get the Sylveon into the active. It might actually be a choice here of doing a Guzma and putting the Blacephalon into the active. Oh, that Kaiway is going to really hurt. That Blacephalon's able to take out whatever I put in. So I am really on the back foot in this matchup now. And he chose not to attack. That's very interesting. Ooh, what do I do here? So I need to be able to get up and rolling. I'm thinking of just Lillying rather than going with the Guzma play, because the Guzma play just brings the Blacephalon in and he can take out whatever he needs to. So we're going to Lillie here. Hope that I get into something that's useful. Unfortunately, I don't. I don't even get into an NG card. So I am really stuck. He's going to be able to hit hard on the next turn here and pull himself potentially within 3 prize cards. So right here, my only hope, I'm thinking, is to chuck the Sylveon into the active. But I've got to be careful here. I think I chuck the Sylveon into the active. It's all I can do to try and set up. So we'll chuck the Sylveon into the active. We do have an Apricorn Maker, so we could go that route just to get my next Guardi up. Keeping in mind that I also need to Guzma to get rid of the Blacephalon. And then that Lugia is going to hit hard back. So we're going to Apricorn Maker here. We're going to go and get me an Ultra Ball. And might as well get me a Nest Ball as well. Why not? And we're going to use the Ultra Ball here to get rid of this Sylveon And the Nest Ball, maybe? Or the Ribombee. Let's get rid of the Ribombee. And we will go and get me a Gardy. We're gonna chuck a rare candy onto this Ralts just here. And what I need to do is, I'm gonna have a look at my deck. Do not have any evolutions left for the Cutiefly. So I think it's just burning it right now. And I go with a magical ribbon. If I could play GX, that would have actually been really good because I could have sent all those Engis back. Oh well, so the magical ribbon right now is about, I need to maximize the Engis that I can get down on my next turn. That's a big deal. So we need DCE action. We need... Do I get my other Gardy up just so I can try and maximize the Engis? How many Engis do I have left? 6. And I need a lot of Engis to be able to overcome this. So I think that's what we do have to actually do here. Take a big chance. Just get the rare candy, the Gardevoir. And I'm going to be Cynthiaing here. So that's what we do. And we shall see what my opponent manages. So is my opponent going to use the retreat here? He is. To go to the Blacephalon as an attacker. Now the Blacephalon is going to have to burn through 4 Fire Engis to take down the Sylveon. And I need to find a way to get all the Engis I can onto the Gardy. So where he's going to burn the Engis from is probably pretty important as well. So he's going to leave 1 on the Blacephalon. Which I need to now get 5 Engis or a Choice Band with 4. So I need to find the Choice Band. That's something I do need to find here. So we're going to go to Gardy here. Keep in mind that Lugia is probably going to KO me anyway. So we're going to DCE on. We're going to Secret Spring a NG onto the Gardy. We're going to Cynthia here. In search for a Choice Band. Unfortunately I don't get it, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, it's just so close but not close enough. I need the Skyfield as well, so didn't get exactly what I needed. I think right now we do go with a Secret Spring. We might as well go and chuck it onto this Gardy just in here. And Infinite Force, unfortunately we can't one-shot it, so that's unfortunate for me. And we'll see what my opponent has to come. So right now, it's going to Acerola that back up. And chuck a Drumper up front. That's interesting. And use the Righteous Edge to get rid of the DCE. It's got a counter to everything I can do in this deck, which is really, really annoying. So I think I Cynthia out of this, maybe burn the Nest Ball as well, just to get something onto the bench that I'm not really too fussed about. So we'll burn a Nest Ball. We'll burn a Cynthia. We do have to get into Engis now. I do have another DCE, which isn't going to be able to take out what I need to on this particular turn. So we're going to Nest Ball, we're going to deck thin the Eevee out of here. We're going to chuck the DCE onto the Gardevoir, Infinite Force here. That's all I can do. I know that DCE is going to be gone anyway on the next turn. And he's able to Acerola again. Like I said, he has got every counter that he could possibly need here right now to what I'm trying to achieve. So he can Righteous Burn me right now. So now I'm also relying on coin flips. I do have the potential Guzma play and retreat. And that is the play that I'm going to go with here. So we're going to chuck the NG onto the Gardevoir like this. We're going to Guzma into the Lugia, as I feel the Lugia is probably the most. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's more than enough to take out the Lugia. So we'll Guzma into the Lugia here. We'll chuck the Cutiefly up into the active. And then we're going to retreat the Cutiefly back to the Gardevoir. And the Gardevoir is going to take out the Lugia now. And get myself within 2 prize cards and really put the pressure on him for this particular next move. So right here, I can thin the hand quite nicely. I do know that this DCE is probably going to be taken care of right now. So what I am looking for in this particular play is energies again. So we're going to chuck... We're going to do it via the Secret Spring onto this Gardy right here. We're going to really start thinning, so we're going to put this Carbink down, we're going to Ultra Ball, we're going to get rid of the 2 Lilies, we're not pulling anything in with that Ultra Ball, and now we're going to Lily up. I do need to find myself into some energies. I do get another energy, so that is good, and that, my friend, is game. Well played. That is a very interesting build from a deck from my opponent. Wow, it was really good at stalling me, but just couldn't quite get the KOs he needed. Wow, what a game. Good game. Good game. Hello, Osler de Grouch, and welcome. Alrighty, Cutiefly up front. Not ideal. I need some Pokemon to back up the Cutiefly, and pretty quickly too. Because a turn 1 KO on the Cutiefly is not difficult. So, Ultra Ball. What do I go and get myself here? He has got free retreat, which is good. And I could go and set up a... Yeah, I think what we'll do here is we'll set up an Eevee just to pull out that Sylveon at the same time. I'm not going to be able to use the Sylveon on this particular turn, but we shall pull out the Sylveon. Helps thin it a little bit more, and then we'll Lily for 6 and see whether I can get something else down on my bench that'll be useful. So a Carbink, probably not going to be the most useful Pokemon in this particular matchup. A couple of Timer Balls ready to go. Do I leave the Cutiefly up front and give him the opportunity to KO it? Or do I retreat it straight to the Sylveon now? I think I'll just retreat it straight to the Sylveon now. So that's what we're going to do, and we will end there. So I need to find me a Ralts desperately as a main attacker here, although the Sylveon, if I do get myself into a DCE, can actually attack on this next turn, so that might be a play as well. And we have Mewtwo. 30 times the number of heads times the number of energy attached to this Pokemon. Ooh. That sounds a very interesting attacker. I like it. Now, is he going to switch? He is going to switch, which does protect him just a little bit. I do think I go into combat here with the Sylveon if I can. So we're going to Timer Ball. See if I can get this to a... Oh, double heads when I don't actually need it. That's always good. We will go and get me a Ribombee. And what else do I need? I don't actually need anything else right now. So... because I'm shuffling whatever I pull into the deck anyway. So, yep, the Ribombee up front. That's what we're going to use. We could actually Guzma and get rid of the Deoxys this turn. No, we can't because we need a DCE to actually do that. So, we're going to Cynthia here because I'm really looking for a DCE just to start hitting into that Mewtwo. If I don't get it, then I'll just go with the alternative, which is quite simply, is it just amount of energy attached to this Pokemon? Good. So the alternative is to Magical Ribbon instead. And an energy on anyone else is going to be completely wasted here. So we're going to go with a Magical Ribbon play. We are going to pull in a Ralts, because that's something I desperately need right now. I'm going to be Cynthiaing on my next turn, I feel. So, although maybe I pull in a Lillie instead and don't Cynthia on the next turn. Yeah, I think that's probably the better way to do this. So, we shall pull in a Lillie just so I can draw a few extra cards on the next turn as well, quite nicely. And that's how we shall play it. Or do I start setting up the Ralts on the next turn? No, I think this is how we play it. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So that's how we go. Now, the Mewtwo is not going to be able to take down the Sylveon this turn. I'm assuming he's using some kind of NG recharge, so the Malamar variant of this. That's what I'm assuming, but I haven't seen anything to actually give evidence to that yet. Because this, with a lot of NGs on there, would be quite dangerous. It's basically my Gardevoir. But without the without having to get it to be a stage 2. So it's able to hit him with 30, so that's good for him. And what I'm now going to do is put a Ralts down, put a Nest Ball down, and what am I going to get with that Nest Ball? Don't honestly know. Maybe get a second Ralts, even though I can't, although I can't get the second Ralts. So yeah, there's nothing much that I really want out of the second Nest Ball right now. I don't really want to put an Eevee down because I'm gonna... Yeah, so we'll just burn the Nest Ball like this for the moment. It gives me a little bit more better pull out of the Lillie. He's not able to use any Guzmas or anything like that anymore, so that's good for me. And we are going to put another NG onto the Sylveon. We are going to Lillie here. And we do get DCE and another Nest Ball if I wanted. The Sky Pillar I don't think is going to help me too much at the moment, although it does stop him from being able to put damage on my bench Pokemon. Is that only from attacks? Yeah, so it's only attacks. So yeah, it's not going to help me just right now. So for the moment, we will start hitting into my opponent. And just put pressure on this Mewtwo. So does he want to keep the Mewtwo up here? He can hit for 60 right now. Although I'm trying to work out how that did 50 before. Oh, he must have used a Professor Kukui. It's got the house, so it's going to hit for 60. Now, oh no, it's not going to hit for more than that. So he's probably able to take out the Sylveon the next turn, which is going to be good for him. So right now, my next turn is about getting Gardevoir up, putting a DCE onto my Gardevoir, refreshing my hand with a Cynthia, and then playing it from there. I'm probably going to put the Sky Pillar down just to deck thin as well. Wow, that actually heals. But it's still within KO range, so that does not matter. So, we're going to chuck a Sky Pillar down. We're going to chuck a DCE onto the Ralts here. We're going to Rare Candy the Ralts up to the Gardy. And we are going to not use the Nest Ball for the moment. We're going to Cynthia. Hopefully get into a Fairy NG so I can put that down this turn as well. I cannot. I do need to find a Fairy NG pretty soon because otherwise I'm not going to be able to attack with this Gardy here. But I do have a Cynthia, so there's another opportunity to get that Fairy NG as well, and I might have to thin before I do that on this next time. So what I do here is I Fairy Wind, I get rid of this Mewtwo, and try and find me this Ralts that's prized right now. So come on, Ralts, show yourself. You love getting yourself prized, don't you, Ralts? I need to add another line of Gardevoir in here. No Ralts, but a Fairy NG, so that is good. I'll take that. That's an acceptable turn right there. So, it'll be interesting to see whether my opponent is just going to search deck for 2 GX Pokemon, reveal them, shuffle your hand. I'm really interested that he's not using any kind of NG acceleration right now. So I am going to have to be mindful that with that Mr. Mime up, I'm going to have to be attacking with odd amounts. That is very interesting. So the advantage is the Gardevoir can attack with odd amounts. So even putting a DCE and the Fairy Energy onto it right now, it will attack in an odd amount, which is perfectly fine. So that Mr. Mime isn't affecting me just yet. I do need to find myself another attacker though. That's something that's going to be pretty important. And he is poisoning both the Sylveon and the Deoxys. Now, I'm assuming he's going to retreat here. That would be the way that he'd be going, just to make that poison more effective. That's a very interesting move, that. So now the Sylveon is poisoned. The Sylveon's within one shot of this Giratina anyway, so I'm nearly thinking that we just take out the Giratina. Like, we just keep attacking with the Sylveon at the moment. And so right here, I chuck a DCE on the Gardevoir. Or do I retreat out and hit him with the Gardevoir in this turn? Because who's he hitting with on the next turn? I don't see any energy acceleration here possible whatsoever. And we could actually attack with the Carbink instead, which would be pretty funny. Let's Secret Spring. We'll Secret Spring the energy onto the Gardevoir at this stage. Do I want to actually attack him with the Carbink? Probably not, because I want my main attacker of Gardevoir to be able to one-shot quite easily. Decisions, decisions, decisions right now. I think we go in with the Gardevoir instead. I think that's the play here. So I think we manually retreat. So we go with the DCE onto the Gardevoir, although do you need it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, you don't. So maybe go with the DCE to the Carbink right now. I am actually going to do that. And we're going to chuck a Choice Band to the Carbink. We're going to Cynthia just on this play. Just trying to think this through how I actually want to play it. So I need to find some more energies as well. What I do want to do here is retreat out, go and get the Gardevoir, and we'll take the KO with the Guardian instead. So we'll go with the Infinite Force, we'll take this KO right here. There's going to be a couple of damage counters coming onto my Pokemon to the bench, but that's okay. It's more about how is he attacking on his next particular turn that I'm more interested in. Now I am hitting for an odd amount at the moment, so that's really important. So the Mr. Mime that's out here, he's going to be getting hit for an odd amount. Now the only thing I want to do is put... Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. Alright. A DCE is something I desperately need to find now. Probably put the Choice Band on the wrong Pokemon now. Should have put it on the Gardevoir. That is a good delay right there. Good stall. Field Blower away is going to get rid of the Choice Band anyway, so that doesn't matter. The Sky Pillar I didn't really care too much about. So it's a good way to stall right here. So that head's really killed me. So he's able to heal the Pokemon straight out as well. So what do I do here? Right now there isn't a lot that I can do than just slowly charge up the Gardevoir. Although if I do, it's only doing... It's going to do an even amount. So charging you up right now is not smart. So we're just going to Infinite Force right here. Why did that not hit? That wasn't exactly 30. Oh, 60. Oh, I could have actually played that and hit it for 90. Whoops, that was my bad. I had to account for the fact that he's got an energy card in his Pokemon. I did not do that. So I need to get an odd amount if he's got 1 NG on, an even amount if he's got 2. Is that right? I'll work it out in the next go. So right now I probably want to get an energy on. I don't want to put 2 energies on right now because otherwise the attack does nothing. So this is where we just use our infinite force. And chuck 90 on there. See whether he wants to GX on this turn. See whether he puts another NG on. Because if he puts another NG on, he's gone as well. He does. But it's going to be in... he's going to be charging up the Mewtwo there. Now, that DCE gone isn't necessarily the end of the world. I will be able to pull 2 prize cards. And leave me trying to work out how I'm taking out just one last Pokemon. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to do one shot. So he's done the breakdown, which is shifting... For each card your opponent has, put 1 damage counter on the active Pokemon. That's an interesting move. So right here, I think the NG card has to go on the Gardevoir. It's all I can do here. And go with the Infinite Force. Take out this Mr. Mime. And I've then just got to work out how I'm getting my last prize card here. So a DC and a Guzma would be really good for this last play. Because it means that I can actually go after anyone I want with this Sylveon. Now, the question is, the Mewtwo, it's doing 90 right now. Oh, the Ralts just stayed to the end. Anyway, so the Mewtwo's doing 90 right now. Another Psychic NG on the Mewtwo's 120 with a Choice Band. It's not going to get there. 150, in fact, it would have got there. That would have been the play, I would have assumed. So, although 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 100. So no, this isn't going to go down either. And he's powering me up for 150. I need an energy still. Although he's going to Guzma. And I'm assuming he's going after the Sylveon. That'd be the only logical Pokemon to actually go after right now. Did he just... Oh, wait, he can't Guzma, of course. I remember, I've got Ribombee here. That's the whole purpose of Ribombee, is to stop the Guzma plays. So, right here, I don't... Oh, I do have a Choice Band sitting here. So, that probably gets me over the top now. So, Infinite Force, the Choice Band, gets me there. Wow. That was a very interesting game. A very interesting deck. So, yeah, good game. Good game. And it is time to rate this deck. So, what do I think? Well, let's start with damage. And boy, the Gardevoir does hit hard. Infinite Force has the one-shot potential, as you can see here, of anything that we come across. So, the damage output here is certainly there, an easy 10 out of 10. What about the defense? Well, the defense here is also really good. You've got these high numbers with the HP of 230 to get over with the Gardevoirs. Also, the Sylveons have 200. These are pretty good numbers to have set up for our defense side of things. The Ribombee chips in here as well because it doesn't allow your opponent to Guzma around if you've got the Ribombee sitting on your bench. So the defense has a lot of potential here. My only concern is we don't have any Ace Rollers that I'm running or any healing cards. You could put them in your deck, but I don't think they're really needed here. We're all about the offense more than the defense here. So I'm reluctant to give it the full 10 out of 10, but big numbers defensively, certainly worth a 9.5 out of 10. Reliability. This is probably the biggest issue and my biggest concern with this deck. We are really relying on getting the Sylveon in play early so we can use the magical ribbon. Now, getting the Sylveon in play early can sometimes be an issue, but the magical ribbon also is very susceptible to our opponent. We can easily be judged, we can easily be marshaled, which can set us back a turn and allow our opponent to really take this Sylveon down early, and that can really hurt us in the early game. So the setup of this deck is probably the weakness of this deck. It is too susceptible to our opponent to disrupt, but it also relies on the Sylveon into the active. Having said that, if the opponent isn't able to, this magic ribbon it sets you up beautifully for the rest of the game. If you can get one of these magical ribbons off and are successful with it, you can be up and rolling. So it's certainly still worth a 7 out of 10 for the reliability, but definitely the weakness of this deck. So overall, what do I think? Hey, this is once again a big hitting deck. It has one-shot potential and is a lot of fun to play. Certainly worth an 8.5 out of 10. The setup is my concern, but if you're looking for some fairy action with big numbers, this is a deck to consider.